Welcome to the P1 Grand Prix, ladies and gentlemen. It's your boy, Blazing Ace Nelson, back again with...
That Bastard! Hell yeah!
And this week's Hooliganz podcast is going to be something of a fun little romp for yours truly, and, well, maybe even for him too.
Yeah, for me. I've beaten this game. I've gotten well, I think I got like 95% done. I didn't get 100%, but you know.
Nice.
Jumping ahead though. Suffice it to say, we're going to get fat with Fatless, because everyone who plays a Fatless game gets fat.
And today we are going to be covering, if you don't know by now, just from reading the screen, you must be blind. Persona 4 Arena.
I will burn my dread. English, more English, Japanese rappers.
Now, if there's one thing I have to say about this game, I'm just going to throw it out there right here and now. Is it an RPG masquerading as a fighting game?
Mm-hmm.
Or is it a fighting game masquerading as an RPG? The answer is quite simple. Yes. And I fucking love it.
I have no complaints. Now, first and foremost, this is canon in the storyline that is the ongoing storyline that is Persona.
Yeah, in fact, the storyline for P4A takes place literally, I'd say maybe about a year or so after the ending of Persona 4.
Yeah.
But you don't have to, and that's one of the great things about this game, you don't have to play Persona 4 in order to really get the story. I mean, it helps, it helps to flavor the experience. But again, it's just something that you don't really need. I mean,
plus the story mode of this covers quite a lot of what happened, and that's even if you play like one person's one playthrough. You don't get the alternate endings or anything. You literally do kind of, they clue you in as to what happened beforehand, like practically at the beginning of each one.
Yeah. And aside from that, there's a lot of content in this game. There's a lot to wade through if you're actually playing this for the story.
Oh god, that's where the Fatless grinding comes into play. Now, we're talking about, when we say Atlas, we're talking about Disgaea, we're talking about the Persona games, we're talking about games that...
The Shin Megami Tensei franchise as a whole.
You're going to be grinding. You're going to be playing this and trying to get Ace Maniac levels of, I need to get all the stuff. And indeed, this game has what I, as a non-maniac, or maybe half-maniac, from my point of view, this game has the same kind of almost annoying 100% rating, where it's like, if you want to get all the stuff, you're going to have to replay from certain points. You're going to have to utilize the save in order to get to those various storyline points to uncover the whole storyline. And honestly, you can just as easily, though, play through the game and only focus on the fighting and say, fuck the story. So there's that, too. It all depends on what you're in the mood for.
And you'll still find the same level of enjoyment throughout.
Yes, that's the most important thing. Like with any game, do you enjoy this? Hell, we did.
Now, again, considering that the story is massive, we have nowhere near enough time in even a 3-part podcast to cover the whole thing. That's saying something.
But I would like to point out something. I want to add a caveat, which I do that a lot. I want to add a caveat to your, is this an RPG or is this a fighting game? Is this a visual novel? There is a lot of reading involved with this. There is. But that's part of the enjoyment. Now, yeah, you can just tune out and not read and listen to the voices instead, but they give you that option to read, and I am a fast reader, and sometimes I can only hear certain squeaky voices before I say, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, because I do read faster than what they're talking. But once again, you can customize it to that playstyle, which is still important. So yeah, is it an RPG? Is it a fighting game? Is it a visual novel? The answer?
Yes.
Exactly.
Now,
sorry.
Now, let's get down to the actual game itself.
Yes.
Now, as you can see, just from this main menu screen, there are so many options It is freaking ridiculous.
Marvel vs. Capcom 2 cries out a single tear of joy and pride.
I mean, there's the lesson mode, which is like a comprehensive tutorial, like Skullgirls comprehensive.
Skullgirls later comprehensive. When it first came out, they didn't even have a tutorial. Let's not forget that.
Well, they did, but it was just all the basics. It wasn't like going into specific character strategies.
Yes.
But, okay, it's comprehensive like Skullgirls, slightly different edition.
But still, the lesson mode is good. The lesson mode is actually really, really good, and you really do get the feel for the timing of the game. Because timing does make the thing when it comes to fighting games. Hell, timing is everything in anything. But timing in a fighting game is especially important.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And then there's, of course, the story mode.
I will burn my breath.
For those of you who have played games like Guilty Gear or the entirety of the Blaze Blue series,
yes,
the story mode is
the meat.
Massive.
This is the meat of the sandwich. This is just all that good, juicy overflow of a good au jus.
This is the meat of the sandwich,
the
and you
meat.
might as well be trying to cram a whole cow between 2 slices of Wonder Bread.
That's this game in a nutshell right there. Thank you for listening. I'm that bastard, he's Ace, you're not. No, this time you did the laugh. So yeah, story mode, there you go.
And then we have the arcade mode. You know, standard arcade mode stuff. Play through to the boss, get the ending for your character, or get your score, what have you. It's all good. You know, classic stuff.
Yeah.
Then we've got score attack, where you actually can try and compete to, you know, set a record for the score, and then try to surpass that record with every subsequent playthrough.
Yeah.
You have the training mode, basic practice mode. You can call up the command list, you know, set up the environment to various conditions so that you can practice your moves.
Yeah, otherwise known as free mode for a freestyle lesson mode.
Yeah. Challenge mode.
Which every good fighting game should have.
Who here remembers playing Street Fighter EX Plus Alpha?
I do.
Do you remember the trial mode in that?
Actually, yes. Yes, I do.
Where you would play through it, and it's kind of like the lesson mode where it would show you, you know, the special moves for each character, but then it would go on to actually, you know, showing you advanced combos with each character.
Oh, I do remember that. And I'll just to point out, yeah, we are huge EX fans here, but I only ever remember 3. Or was it 1? No, it was 3. It was Skullomania and Doctor in the Dark and...
All 3 of them had those 2 at least.
Oh, my bad. The one with Jack and the one with
it was
Darren Meister.
It was 2 and 3 that had Rosso.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say next is Rosso. It's like, one of these motherfuckers, so it must have been 3 that I was into. I know, I was just into one of them.
Yeah, 3 was the one for the PS2.
And that was a great summer because we would just play that at my house. And it's like, we kick it at my house, play that game, or kick it at your house, or whatever have you. We were just playing that motherfucking game. Play the motherfucker out of that motherfucking game.
Well, basically, challenge mode is like a full mode with just the later portions of mission mode from EX, or say
Guilty Gear X. The Guilty Gear franchise, ever since X, always had great challenge modes.
Then there's versus mode, which is, you know, classic 2-player or, you know, 2-player or
1 versus CPU.
1 v CPU.
But then you got
network mode, where you can go online or, you know, spectate.
Because you just need to see somebody by the name of XXX Sephiroth's wife XXX fight somebody named XXX 420 Ganja Slayer XXX.
Then, of course,
a little chuckle.
Then, of course, you can hit the PlayStation Store to purchase DLC, which we'll be discussing a little bit later, of course. There's the theater,
which is cool.
Where, again, like it says on the screen, you can actually watch replays of matches that you have saved.
And let's face it, some of you have done your own demo reels. Some of you have done this shit. Hell, I think you need demo reels to even get into certain tournaments nowadays. You know, some of the pro levels.
Yeah, just... Or you can even do, like, what Maximilian does with the Online Warriors series, where you can actually save those replays, watch the matches, and if you're as much a fighting game maniac like he or I, you'll actually be sitting there trying to analyze where the various turning points of each match are, and you can do that with the theater.
Yeah.
Then there's the basic gallery mode where you can look at the artwork, listen to the fantastic music.
You know, I'm glad we have a non-Clover, non-Platinum Games related game here that has a great soundtrack and isn't Platinum Games or Clover. I'm just saying, I've been really worried this season. I think I said it for like the past 4. We've had more than 4. The past 4 episodes now. Yeah, that's the song. You know, I'm just saying, it's just nice to hear a game, and a fighting game nonetheless, that really pays attention to its soundtrack and utilizes that soundtrack. And then options.
Of course, options.
Because you need options. We were just discussing this too.
And again, what's a game without options?
Not a very fun one.
Exactly.
Not a game at all.
But now to actually get down to the meat of the gameplay itself, we're going to go ahead and jump right into... Actually, I kind of want to do training mode, but just set us up.
Show them story mode.
Really?
That's the meat of it, fool. You got to show them the visual novel aspect. Let them hear the sounds. Let them see the colors. Let them enjoy the LSD acid trip that is...
I think we might quite literally need the entirety of the second half of this.
Oh, not the whole story mode. I'm just saying...
Well, not the whole story mode, but again, just going into... I'll give it a shot.
Let's do it,
I'll give it a shot. Let's go ahead and...
Either that or arcade mode, one or the other. But I would say story mode and show them, like, the first segment while we comment about the story itself and... Oh, wait, we're still recording? Fuck!
Well, that's the thing. There's going to be some of the cutscenes where I'll probably wind up getting dinged for, like, you know, third-party content and some other bullshit.
Uh-oh. Oh, and for the record, spoilers ahoy!
So, actually, you know what? Let's cut out of the story for now. Let's just go ahead and do arcade mode because it'll be real quick. It'll give you not just a tidbit of the story if I actually make it through all the way and beat it, which I don't think I will. I'm rusty as hell at this game.
Unless you play Akihiko. Akihiko is the BlazBlue of this entire game. Now, that is all you need to do to play BlazBlue is the Atari joystick, one button. Ice cars! Ice cars! Ice cars! Ice cars! That's a nice car you got there. Oh! But you know what? That does remind me, speaking about other games, I was about to mention, it's almost like Dodge Viper! And then I was like, wait a minute, that's right, Guilty Gear Xrd! By the way, in case y'all don't know, we are humongous Guilty Gear fans here. And the fact that Daisuke Ishiwatari has finally dropped one! That's what we've been waiting for. And oh my god, and the song Heavy Day, oh, dude, you can't tell me that shit did not sound bomb!
I've watched that trailer at least 30 times by now.
Same. Holy shit. Everything about that game. So anyway.
But anyway, let's get to the arcade mode. Let's go ahead and get down to the actual gameplay in this bad boy because it's... The gameplay, much like the story itself, is pretty meaty.
Yeah.
The layout for the controls is simple as hell.
But it works. Especially for the options they give you.
But again, back to just...
Play as Akihiko.
Back to just the audio-visual aspects. That will probably be the easiest portion to cover.
Classic, beautiful Persona.
Again, just listen.
Yeah.
If you're a fan of Persona, if you're a fan of the Persona series...
You know the song.
You will sit here and you will probably spend at least 2 or 3 minutes just listening to the music. And
Play.
also listening to just...
the world around you.
You know, the little tidbits of background dialogue.
I was about to mention the narration and the dialogue. It's fucking superb. It's superb. Go to the right one. Go to the right. Yeah, him. No, him. Play Kanji. Come on, it's Kanji. This. You know what? Akihiko and Kanji was the reason why I even got this game. The rest of the characters play wonderfully, but Kanji, look at him! He's got a folding chair. That's his weapon.
Actually, I want to play with you a little bit, mainly because he's good for, he's a good entry character. As far
he's
as
the Ryu of the game.
Yeah.
Funny story though, he didn't even have a name in P4, so I'm just saying.
That's because he's
you. Yeah. Much like the character named Hero is actually the hero of the story. Just saying. You, Narukami.
But yeah, I'll go ahead.
Izanagi.
I'll go ahead and pick Johnny Young Bosch.
Johnny fucking Young Bosch.
And again, just The game animates fantastic.
Oh,
It is classic Atlas/Arc System Works high,
which is something
high
we didn't bring up.
resolution.
This is an Arc System Works joint right here.
Just classic, high resolution and very fluid. You may not see it just with the flapping of the coat and the bands and everything, but once you see this in action,
and then you got this. Remember, this is the P1 Grand Arena, which is part of the storyline. Spoilers ahead. And the fact that they actually bring it up, it has this real. And then you got this.
It's like a TV show. It's like a TV show,
like WWF or something. They got the scorecards and everything, and they got the backgrounds. First and foremost, let me just throw this out there: the backgrounds are fucking awesome. I dig these fucking backgrounds. Oh, Rise, I have so much porn of her. You Narukami. I got so much porn of him. There's just any character you see on the screen, and pretty much I have porn of them. Who doesn't? Who hasn't, I should say. Saddest part is I can't even say that I don't have porn of the TVs in the background, because, I have porn of TVs. Don't ask me what it's about. Yeah, it's porn of TVs.
But yeah, if you don't want to go through the grind of actually playing through the full, meaty story in the story mode, then
Teddy!
play through the arcade mode.
God, I love Teddy.
It's a decent recap of the story, at least from each character's point of view. And the dialogue before each match between the characters just...
You're making a mistake, Teddy. You got no choice but to do this.
You feel like you really get to identify with the characters.
Well, that's the other thing. Now, that is one thing I want to point out, that is not only Arc System Works at their finest and fatless, but also it's just what they do. I mean, you learn more about the characters, you feel for them, you get that empathy for them going on just from their discussions. Oh shit! You gotta remember poison status.
Remember how I was wondering whether or not this is an RPG masquerading as a fighting game?
Status effects.
This is a fighting game that actually incorporates status effects like paralysis, poison,
shock,
confusion, fear. All the classic elements from Persona that you know and despise.
Oh wow! Admittedly, Teddy was like cheap. He was overkill cheap. I mean, he had some crazy ass range. So, gameplay wise, how does because you mentioned earlier that it's the
control system, the buttons are actually set up quite simply.
Yeah.
There are 2 physical attacks for each character, light and heavy. And then there are also 2 persona actions for each character. Now each character can, of course, summon a manifestation of their physical will. Their persona.
Yeah.
With you, it's of course Izanagi.
And unlike P3, where they shot themselves in the fucking skull, shoot yourself in the head, say persona, you will summon your will. And actually, interesting thing, I know I'm going to give away already spoilers, but it actually comes up in the conversations during in several of the story modes, when the P3 characters get involved.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're all like, what the hell? I don't need a persona shooter to summon my persona? And it's like, no, did you shot yourself in the head? Yeah. It seemed like a good idea at the time. Surrounded by demonic creatures. Now, funny story. When you use your persona or persona special attacks, if they get hit, you lose one of those cards up there. Those cards, that's not a special attack thing, that's on the bottom, by the way. No, those card things are your persona's hit points, so to speak. You get hit 4 times, you go into persona break. You can't use your persona.
Which means that's at least half of your controls locked down until your persona recovers, and then you are really going to have to rely on what you know for your character.
Yeah. So it's not just a button mash, get your persona out. No, in and of itself, the strategy of getting your persona out has to be maximized for those times when it's proper to pull them out. If you pull them out and it ain't the proper time, they're in the middle of attack, or that their persona or their element's stronger than yours or whatever have you. I forget now I think that was the thing. They can capitalize on that and fuck your shit up, taking the advantage in a fight.
It's like calling out assists in Marvel 3 or using your stands in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Yeah.
Now, if you have those bad boys out and the enemy goes, oh hey, smack the assist, your shit's done.
Easy win. Kingpin of Steel, the Sister Complex. Kingpin of Steel. That's the other thing. Storyline rip, or storyline spoiler. The fact that everyone gets their own little
embarrassing ass nicknames.
Yeah.
It's great. It is absolutely great.
Yeah. Just, I don't even. What was it? Oh my god. I don't remember them anymore. Holy shit. Oh yeah, there we go. Captain Resentiment. What was it? The resentment towards the upper, or resentment towards those you view as superiors.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Resentiment. Captain Resentiment, and then he like whines throughout his entire storyline about it. Like, really, guys? And everyone he tries to pick a fight with about it is like. So, so you got your basic attacks, you got your persona attacks. What else you got though?
You've also got special moves which can be done either with your character or persona special moves. And your persona specials are basically the spells from the game.
Yeah.
So if you got lightning based spells, then you've got, of course, Zio and Mazio.
Impossible.
Then you've also got specials that your character can do, like that dive I've been doing with you. Yeah, that's actually one of his personal special attacks.
You know I love me some arrow oblique attacks. If I can cross up from the air, I'm happy.
That slide and the little lightning projectile, of course, persona specials.
Yeah.
But you also have the supers.
Oh, you've already actually done one, but you want to show them a super?
Yeah. One of the easy ways to do supers is just to keep chaining together light attacks, which actually, which they actually allow. If you have the gauge for it, then you can just do a basic Gatling attack going from normal attacks to specials and canceling into your supers. So you can start with basically, sort of a one-button thing if you want to just be able to actually, play through and get accustomed to the combat system.
Yeah.
Or you can actually go through and do light to heavy and then to persona chain attacks when you want to actually dig that much deeper into the combat system itself.
Now, there are also other modes of attacks, some of which I have to admit I abused the fuck out of just because it was so persona! Mainly dust clouding. There are attacks you can do. The look on your face. Literally, you hit them, and if you follow up, you can rush at the ass and dust cloud. Literally, a dust cloud of hits, where depending on which button you're pressing will determine whether it just knocks them back, drops them to the ground, I think, but definitely raises them up in the air. So it's like.
That, I believe, is actually done.
Cake Emperor, baby.
I think it's done with just the two physical attacks, which are mapped to Square and X on the PS3.
Yeah. Oh, give it a try. And that's the other thing, we were mentioning, I know we keep bouncing, but, with this game, there's so much you can just focus on. There's, and I would like to point out Risei's little commentary. It's a cute little thing. It's a thing of beauty. Just accept it. And hearing the characters, really great sound. Really great voice work. Hell yeah, Kanji!
Kanji, you were here?
And did I mention I really like the backgrounds? And that's the other thing. If you take the If you take the offensive there we go! Dust Cloud! Finish it off, full.
I forget how I'm supposed to finish it off.
I think you need press forward or up. I think. One of these days we'll get it right. Well, suffice it to say, you can do it. You can do it. You can do it.
Rip his freaking head off!
Oh shit! Oh shit! So Yu Narakami is once again the Ryu of this game. He's got great range. He's got good up close. He's not too fast, not too strong. He's Mario. That is what happens when you enter into desperation mode. Then you can actually unleash your true supers, so to speak. Uh-oh!
You can unleash higher level supers, and then there's also the, basically, one-hit kills, destroyers!
Yes! Destroyers, and I love destroyers! Fuck every hater of these things!
Which, if you go into awakening mode like that...
Awakening mode, yeah, that's what it's called.
And you're on match point...
Oh, third match. Kanji won one?
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure. No, he didn't. But this is the third match going through it.
Oh,
round 3 of the third match.
Okay.
But basically, if you're on match point, and the enemy's actually able to bring you, I think it's if they're actually able to bring you down into awakening mode, or if you just have enough in the gauge. If you have like a full 100 or over 100, as the case may be.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Oh, Jesus. That hurts.
Beat down!
He's mad.
Man up, punk!
Okay, I'm over 100.
You gonna do it?
Dig this.
Let's end this. 1,000 die while a million are
Did I mention that I really like cinematic one-hit knockouts? I love cinematic destroyers. The more cinematic and cooler it is, the cooler it is for me. Fuck yeah! Yeah!
Needless to say, if you want to finish the fight quickly and you are on match point, that's the way you go about it.
You know, I don't think I've ever actually used anybody's Awakening or Destroyer outside of Kanji's. Just because, hell yeah, the Man series Ultimate Bro Fit.
Yeah.
Just,
It's like getting sandwiched between the Galactica Phantom and the Bloated Arm.
oh my god, that's a lot of destruction. That's when you just drop to your knees and fall forward. You don't really.
And the story even has an explanation for mirror matches in this too.
Yes, they do. But considering that's Persona, which we should really get into that, just how we usually do the history and such. Well, I don't really think we should get too into the history because there is so much to cover. I mean, we're talking. This is the fourth, technically, the 6th or 7th of the Persona games. And that's not even counting Shin Megami Tensei.
Well, I mean, just going,
But that's the other thing is that unlike the Persona games, which didn't really reveal too much to me about the Persona event itself, the Shadow event, what happened at that island. But this did. This thing is brimming with answers. And if you've been playing the Persona games, you will like this game because it gives you the answers. Finally! In some of the games previously, you just accepted that shadows existed, that some event occurred at a lab somewhere that unlocked this other dimension and was creating these, at first, localized situations where shadows were attacking people during the 13th hour. An event that, correct me if I'm wrong, it's an event where at the 13th hour, basically after midnight, between midnight and 1 o'clock or whatever,
between midnight,
becomes encased in crystallized coffins, and these shadow creatures walk about. And they're actually the emotions, they're unaccepted negative emotions.
Yeah, they're the unaccepted and repressed emotions of
humans. Yeah, and for the most part, they will try and seek out and kill the human. And for the most part, those with Persona are those who have faced down their shadow and accepted it. They've accepted that negative aspect of themselves. Because that's what it is. It's yourself. Now, in Persona 3, the biggest issue was these things trying to kill you.
Yeah.
In Persona 4, and even then, the only way to summon your Persona was to shoot yourself in the head with a Persona summoner, or with a summoner gun. Now, you just knew. It's one of those things where, once again, a Persona is your shadow accepted. It's you. It's a part of yourself. It's you. As Ace mentioned, it is the manifestation of your physical will that is not created by JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Literally, it's the same damn thing as a stand, but the stands are JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. What started it though? Point. Yeah, they started that shit.
Basically, imagine if you were a stand wielder, but you had to literally dig inside your own mind and face off against your demons. And if you lost, you die.
And it's not a physical fight. Not all the time. That's one thing I really like about this game. Now, some would also say that the social construct system is a stupid one. But we don't listen to those people because they're dumb and have no friends. Honestly, this game, traditionally speaking, in the Persona games, it's one part dating sim, literally, in some cases. It's one
part RPG, it's one part traditional RPG, one part school sim.
Because school simulator, because the more relationships you build, the more social links you get, the stronger you become, and it's even necessary to have certain amounts to progress through certain points of the storyline. So with this game, it continues on in that route, even P4, in that emotions, choices, the consequences of accepting your darker self, of accepting yourself. The consequences, it's all there. It's very prevalent in the storyline, and that's fucking awesome for a fighting game. And you can say this is a fighting game with feels, But I would also say that you have no friends and you smell funny. Killjoy Detective. Now, that was Persona 3. In Persona 4, it was all about, this school event, or this school life, where it was no longer the one location from P3. Now it was at this point in the island of Inaba. And it was here that you ended up getting these murders. Not just the kind of shit that was going down in P3, but flat out, holy shit,
OJ from Telephone Line.
Yeah! OJ killed her, fucking media sensation going on. People are dying and nobody knows how. So then you got you, who hooks up with his homeboy, slowly creates the Scooby-Doo mystery solving gang. They go through these various cases, and eventually learn who the real culprit is, and the fact that he's using shadows and this alternate dimension that's accessible through televisions. You know, when I actually first played the game, I didn't really get that part and didn't really like it. I'll admit. I'm like, that's stupid! But if I believed that, I wouldn't have friends and I would smell bad. I'm just saying. But I'm gonna run with that gag, by the way. I'm just running with it.
But actually playing through this, and again, just playing through Persona 4 itself, it actually makes a lot of sense in that world.
Well, yes, and that's the thing about it, is that if you consider the world that they're in and what's going on, which, once again, P4 didn't really reveal a lot. In fact, Persona 4 gave more questions, to the point where they had to make a fucking, half-sequel, The Answer, Persona 3 FES.
Yeah.
And even that still left me with a lot of questions, like, what? You know, this answers quite a lot about the original Persona event. The original event that created this whole fucking thing going down, you know, this lab and whatnot.
The original event that actually spans the story arcs of
P1.
Quite literally the latter half of the Persona series, covering 3 and 4.
And the Kiryu group, this huge megalo... what was the other word for it?
The Kiryu group?
Yeah, but not a megalomaniacal...
Mega conglomerate.
Mega conglomerate. This huge fucking rich-ass mega conglomerate who are literally behind all this shit. But at the same time, even during their corrupt younger era, they were still figuring out on ways to create anti-shadow weapons and such. And that actually plays very strongly.
Funny you mentioned anti-shadow weapons.
True! Which she does have a heart. A blue-eyed, blonde-haired girl with an android girl with a heart, by the way. Because you can't have a persona without a heart. You can't have a shadow without a heart. And that was part of the Kiryu group's thing. Now, I will admit, once again, spoilers by the way, this game made me care about the characters, and even more so what happened to the main boss to make her the way she is.
Yeah.
That is fucked up, and the background change connected to it is downright Hellraiser level terrifying to me. Because it's like, holy shit, when you realize what it is. I hadn't realized, when I first played the first rounds of the game, before you open up the second endings, or the second half of each character, I didn't realize what that was. I was just like, oh, whatever, it looks like a bunch of stuff in the background. And then you learn what it was, and suddenly it was like a terrifying, horrible moment of realization. And it's like, oh my god.
Basically, the second half of the game is like the wham line.
And it's one big wham, because suddenly it makes sense.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and pause it right here because we are well past the half-hour point, so we'll take a quick break and we'll be back with more Persona 4 Arena. So, we'll catch you on the next part, guys.